Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? This is Joe Figueroa with another video in our series Anatomy of a Dance, where I break down social dancing count for count, pointing out everything the dancers do. This series is going to break down a single count of 8, something that is seemingly impossible or choreographed, leaving most nonplussed. But I'm going to show you how the confusing still breaks down the fundamental steps that most of you already do. That it's not necessarily a new movement, but a new idea on an old movement. So take this time to subscribe and ring the bell because we're starting right now. The word unbreakdownable is thrown around a lot these days.
That's not even a word!
Okay, maybe not. But I have been approached about this one by several people in the last few months and have labored long and hard about it. Applying what I know and teach every week, I was able to break this down to show you. This movement comes from Terry Tulliu, I hope I'm saying that right, a master dancer and musicalist that I have done videos on before. So first, here's the same movement done in 3 different dances with 3 different follows. One of them is a variation, but similar enough that I felt it applicable. Get all that? At first I didn't either, but let's examine the steps one by one. First, Terry has the handhold, which is his left, her right, high at her shoulder line, so it seems as if it's a wrap around her neckline. This can be done in any number of ways. Next, he picks up the follows free hand, the left, low at the waistline. Follows, notice how all 3 of these follows incorporate that simple technique of having the hands in neutral position at the ready. For you leads, this is a great example of providing a clear high lead and low lead. This handhold is tight as it is, so Terry provides a hard break in order to give the follow a feeling of a change in direction, like the enchufe. But this back break is a variation. It feels like a regular cumbia or copa break at first, but Terry leads the follow all the way around. So their forward step, which on 1 would be the follows 5, on 2 would be the follows 2 step, is forward toward the partner. Here is a simple version of it so you can see more clearly. Now here's where Terry does what Terry does. He swings his right hand hold, the low lead, up over the follow's head during this change in direction. It's not necessary to create that prep, but is necessary for the design he has created here. After swinging the right hand hold over the follow's head, he brings it back down to the same spot it was before in order to still have lead from the middle as well as up high. At this point, the follow would be facing the lead in an otherwise regular handhold position. What Terry does is cross his arms deep, crossing his arms at the elbow practically, a real commitment to the movement. With this arm cross, Terry's arms are right over left. This is difficult or counterintuitive for any normal dancer, but we're talking about Terry here. He brings his left hand hold, which again is the hold underneath, down his body, almost like he's looping it over his head, all the way to his underarm, giving his right arm the freedom to raise up. He then brings his left hand, which was already high at the shoulder line, and passes it over his head as he crouches down to lessen the work for the follow. After he has passed the left past his shoulder, he lets the hold go and then raises the right hand hold over his head as well. What this does for the follow is provide the line. Because of the complexity of this, it's easy for any follow to get to a point where they are practically facing the partner, but sideways. I would say it's likely what would happen. I tried it and found it happened 4 out of 5 times. Once Terry lets his left hand hold go, he then engages the right hand hold over his head and behind him in order to provide the line. See here, Terry exercising basic principles in an extremely intricate manner. So any confusion the follow has subsides because the line was given, or rather they are reassured of the line. Terry breaks left or right after to go into what's next, although that was exhausting as it is. And that's the movement. Whew. As complex as that is, and it is, it's not impossible. Remember what Hannibal Lecter says in Silence of the Lambs?
First principles, Clarice. Simplicity. Read Marcus Aurelius. Of each particular thing, ask, what is it in itself? What is its nature?
Even this movement has to be based in simple principles. And here they are. I ask myself, what is the follow doing in this movement? What is the nature of the follow's movement? If I know what I'm supposed to make the follow look like, my role becomes much easier to figure out. First, a hard break for leads to change the follow's direction, creating the feel of a copa or cumbia. Now usually during the copa break, the lead would stay in the same place to give the follow no path forward, thereby sending the follow back to where they came from. Here the lead wants to move off the line in order to provide the path for the follow. Once said path is given, it should be no problem to lead out a simple walk step for the follow. As I've said before, the lead should try to maintain the center of the line to make the ends of the line more clear for the follow. So once I answered the question of what it is at its nature, I was able to attempt it in the manner Terry created, and this was the result. Now keep in mind, this is one of those situations where you are watching a professional, a creator. This isn't something that you should just try with anyone at any dance. I usually try an idea out on 10 different partners with no warning of what is about to happen before I try it on the social dance floor, or teach it in class. For both follows and leads, it's a question of training. That's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, keep dancing.